Firstly, we are surprised that the statement was released in the middle of the night at around 1:30, and it carries nobody's signature. Nobody is responsible for that, and it's a very irresponsible way of putting out such an important report. We've always maintained that you should have some kind of transparency, and the personnel involved in these investigation should be specialists. They should be pilots, they should be engineers, there should be other facets of subject matter experts who should come in and contribute or should be invited to contribute. Now you have put out something which is more confusing than when it started off, and it clearly indicates that the pilot is at fault without telling that the pilot is at fault. See, first, let's assume without data, when we speak without the DFDR data, it is again Amar Chitra Katha, okay? All telling stories. Now, if the start switch, that is the fuel control switches, have gone from run to cutoff and then back to run, that means the pilot is following a checklist of dual engine failure. It says cut off, put it back again, so that the engine electronic control swaps and there's a good chance of the engine starting back again. As the report mentions, one of the engines had begun to start up. Now that's as a part of the checklist. Now, if you just put that the pilot, it says the fuel control switches transitioned from run to cutoff. What do you mean by transition? It fell on its own, or did the pilot do it? Why don't you write that there? Because everything is very clear in the DFDR. If you touch it, and such an airplane, even if you touch it, you will know whose hand has touched where. So instead of putting that, you have put an ambiguous statement which says that it went off in one. There are several scenarios in which it could happen. So we need to step back and tell, first, make this. This is the problem if you have secrecy around it. What is so secretive for the Aircraft Investigation Board head to have CISF security? So if he's so scared, let him go home and sit. And he is not from flying background. He's from the engineering background. So, and he's from the Air Force. What does he know about civilian aircraft? So this is what we are in. We want a judicial inquiry. Now we are convinced we want a judicial inquiry into this whole matter so that we can also keep our points across. Is that a very scientific remark? We were telling you right from the beginning, without the complete data, you cannot speak. Which pilot spoke to whom? Do you even know that? Everybody is assuming that Sumit spoke to Clive or Clive spoke to Sumit without knowing the entire scenario in which they were speaking and what they were speaking. Yeah, our legal cell has to get back to us. We are mulling a public interest litigation or going to the Supreme Court to say that this, what we feel as industry veterans, we feel that a fraud is being perpetuated like every other crash investigation. We want judicial oversight and transparency. This is our demand. We will do anything to get there. Cost is not an issue for us.